Welcome everybody to the Chicago Clubhouse podcast. It's going to be a fun one today. We got a lot of things going on today, but at the same time, we don't. It's kind of weird to say it like that, but I'm hosting today. Foulmouth can't make it today. Terrence is going to be on in a little bit. He's running a little late. So, hey, man, look. What is there to talk about? I mean, we got a lot of Bears talk we could break down with this defensive front, with this quarterback. We had a phenomenal live outing at our new studio this past week where we had the awesome Herb, who just that Bears guy. He knows everything. He shares everything he can with us. So that's a key right there. And I mean, we break down a little bit of Chicago Sky. They're obviously starting off very, very bad. And we're not going to forget, like the commish just put in, we got a little Hawk talk that we're going to break down today as well, because the Blackhawks did a few days ago announce their new head coach. And, you know, the gentleman who does Hawk talk on the show, I mean, if you can't tell who he is with this hat he's wearing right now, I'm not happy. It's some bullshit. I hope I'm wrong, because honestly, I don't know. I mean, he could be a second coming for all we know, but I'll break down what I don't like about him a little bit into the show. But other than that, hey, let's get it started. Hit me, Commish.
You are now rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse podcast, where they think they know everything, but honestly, they don't know shit.
These summer league games and they tell you about these new up-and-coming coaches.
I think we should get rid of every motherfucking owner in Chicago.
Enzo and Caruso, both when they are on the court, are like your defensive generals.
But they need to get that strong safety who's not scared to hit somebody.
They really don't know shit.
We know some shit. Like, I'm confident in that. Mostly we don't know shit, but we pretend like we know shit. But like I was breaking it down, I mean, we got some Bears talk. We got some Blackhawks talk. We'll break down a little bit of Bulls talk. We'll break down a little bit of Sky talk. You know, we're going to break down a lot today. And we do have a phenomenal guest. We're really hoping he is going to make it. So, I mean, we will keep everyone posted on that. I'm not gonna spoil it until we bring him in, though. All I know is he was a monster. So we'll just leave it at that right there. But let's get it started right now. I only got one guy in the background with me today, but he's the only one that matters because he is the stat man. Knows every single stat. 50s, 40s, 30s. I mean, before he was born, he still knows those stats. So let's bring him in, JB.
Yo.
How you doing, bud?
Doing good, brother. How you feel?
You know, I'm all right. I mean, we're finally starting to get a little bit of nicer weather, but I did hear it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. So we're going to be right back to the crap, but.
Right back to it. So for everybody out there in TV land, I want to wish you, my brother, a happy belated birthday.
Thank you,
sir.
Sir.
Thank you for celebrating a born-on day. So
we'll say I got enough whiskey to last me a week. The way these Chicago sports teams are playing, I'm only giving it a week. I got like maybe 10 or 11 bottles.
That's good, but then it's not good.
I got like 10 or 11 bottles, but you know, I don't know if that's lasting me a week the way these teams are playing right now. The only team who is playing still somewhat good, and I'm sure Commish is saying into the back of his head right now, is his Cubs. But I'm happy at least one Chicago team is at least doing something. But there's no.
No, you're not. Yeah, no, you're not. No, you're not.
Yeah, they caught me on that one. That's pretty dead on.
We are happy because we still love Chicago, but
yeah, I love every Chicago team. So, Miss Jeanette Johnson, how are you doing?
JJ, I'm gonna put this out there though. If the Cubs is all we have to hang our hats on, we in trouble.
Big trouble.
We know that they go up and down like a roller coaster.
Yep. And we'll know they'll give us hope because, and I'm not trying to diss them or anything like that, but that bullpen still sucks ass. And if you can't figure out that bullpen when it comes down to postseason, you're going to be in trouble.
They are, but again, 15 games over 500 is nothing to sneeze at either, especially in this town.
No, hands down. I'm happy they're winning, and that's what matters. And I mean, they're winning basically because their offense is just monsters. They put up a lot of runs, and that's going to keep you in every game, no matter what. If your bullpen is struggling, but
I remember when the White Sox did that once upon a time. They were just winning because they were hitting home runs.
It's been a while.
The good old days. But at least we can hang our hat on. We are one of the few major market cities, well, cities period, with multiple sports teams, where every single team that we have has won a championship in some generation.
That is true. I mean, the Sky,
Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks.
I won them a few times with Candace.
Chicago Sting, Rockford Ice Hawk.
Yeah, all of them have.
Chicago Fire. Like, we've won in everything at least once. So
let us know on that chat, everyone, who has not won it for us. The Chicago Wolves have won it for us. The Rockford Ice Hogs have won it before. Like, everybody has won it. The only sad thing to say is I was not born when the Bears did. That hurts. In case everyone was wondering, celebrating that 38th birthday, I was not alive.
I was alive. I was 7. I was 7.
Yeah.
Mom had the Super Bowl shuffle, the record, and the VCR tape. Good old days.
It was.
Hey, Richard Denton, guys, if y'all out there, come on, join the show.
Absolutely. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to get some shares out there as well since we're short-staffed.
Did you want to jump into the OTAs starting or not yet? Because
we can jump into some. We'll do some Bears talk right now. We'll start it off with a little bit of Bears, and then we'll probably finish it off with a little bit of Bears. Because as we all know, we can talk Bears all day.
Absolutely. I was just concerned personally, just with everybody making these moves now, and the Bears, the momentum that the Bears train is really picking up now. We were having a conversation about Trey Hendrickson in one of my groups. And my thing is, if you go all out and try to get Trey Hendrickson, I'm all for it. But aren't we kind of playing Madden because you just gave a guy $16 million to sit the bench, basically, which I'm not cool with that. I mean I'm cool with that. Agbenbo, or how you say his name. But
I just feel like if you make that deal, you're losing probably 2 secondary people on that defense. I mean, you might
get a little bit more money because you did the Joe Tooney deal. So Joe Tooney's only going to make like $8 million this year with the with his contract and everything. So that helps us to be able to sign a Trey Henderson. But again, that pushes down. That's why I said last time, if we were to get somebody in here that was a veteran, just give me a Von Miller for cheap, help come in on third down, some passing plays, help teach the young kids, because we have so much depth at the defensive end position. We just don't know if they're going to play or not. We don't know what Austin Booker is yet. The rumors of Javon Dexter possibly playing some defensive end. Having that New York Giants NASCAR feel with that offensive line, I like it. But everybody we bring in here seems to just not, at that DM position, they just seem to not do anything.
Or if they do something that's for 1 year and then all of a sudden they disappear. You can't find consistency at that DM.
You talking about the guy that broke the single season sack record?
I mean, you could honestly, as sad as it sounds, even say Khalil Mack as well. I mean, because he couldn't stay healthy. Wasn't really performance-wise. He couldn't stay healthy. I mean, Julius Peppers probably was our most consistent one that we've had recently. I mean, but again, he was kind of dealing with nagging injuries here and there as well.
Well, the one, if you want to go that far back to Pep, that team had some good linemen with him. When you go to Mac, I was looking at Mac being double teamed a lot because when Akeem Hicks got hurt,
oh yeah,
that kind of put a lot similar to right now when Billings got hurt. Look how much how many double teams Sweat had to figure out, and he only had 6 sacks last year, I believe 6 or 6.5, which is way down from the 12, 13 he had the year before, right? But I mean, without having that pass rush now, Deo does pressure the quarterback. He hurries the quarterback. We want to hope, hopefully some of those can turn into sacks. But I mean, is he proven enough for $16 million and you go get Trey Hendrickson? I don't know about that.
I mean, don't get me. It'll be rough because you're going to look at even like Cleveland for that interest. They had 2 dominant ends, but they didn't have an offense to help produce, and they didn't get you shit. Like, I mean, you need balance on both sides. You can't just have it on one.
I don't know what to say about it because in Dennis Allen's system, base 4-3, a lot of pressure up the middle. That's why we went and got Grady Jarrett. I don't know what end that you bring in that's got the same motor that a Trey Hendrickson has because Trey Hendrickson is proven. He was an NFL sack leader.
You're not going to find much like him.
You're not going to find many like him. There's him. There's a Max Crosby. I'll say, who was the guy from Minnesota that we wanted? Danielle Hunter. There's a couple of them out there, but I don't know. I'm interested in seeing what Austin Booker looks like his second season. I don't know. Hardy, where does Hardy come into play?
Hardy's a good special teams guy, so I still see him on the roster. But I think it's more what's his name? Who's not Dexter, who was drafted with Dexter?
You talking about the other DT?
Yeah, I can't remember his name all of a sudden. It's been a bust so far.
Pickens,
South Carolina.
Zach Pickens.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, Pickens is another one. I mean, he's been an absolute bust for us so far because he hasn't been able to even barely make the even practice squad because he's not even practicing enough because he's not putting in the effort, supposedly.
He's another one couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know, Frank. It's kind of hard to – I mean, with our way too early predictions that like we did last week, it's also kind of hard to predict health. And if a guy's just not healthy, and we're talking about a year afterwards, then that's telling me something's a little bit more than just, okay, he's got a sprained ankle or whatever. Like, this kid might really be hurting. We might be looking, to go elsewhere, which if that is indeed the case, I mean, come on. If we playing Madden, we might as well go play
the draft pick. I do like the DT that we drafted. I mean, regardless, but I mean, is he ready right now? And I mean, not in my opinion, no.
But again, that's another DT, right?
Exactly. I mean, you're going to have to eventually move some of these DTs, possibly. I mean, because our DC Allen, he likes the big guys, so I mean, he's probably going to see some DTs on the outside.
Yeah, but which DT do you think should get more developmental time? Zach Pickens or the new one that they just drafted?
The new one that they just drafted.
Exactly. I think Zach Pickens the odd man out.
Zach Pickens might not make the team.
You still got Andre Billings there. You got Andre Billings still there. And there's no way, it's not even comparison between the two.
No, there's not.
So to me, like I said, Zach Pickens, he'll be lucky if he makes a practice squad, or he may be a practice squad guy, just because there's so much depth for us there at that position for the time being, at least to start the season. Granted, who knows what happens, throughout the season, injuries, happen and stuff. But for the time being, Zach Pickens seems like he's
the odd man out.
Second round pick or a third round pick. So.
I mean, okay, but here's the thing with that, right? With Pickens, you have very limited tape, right? Because he didn't play. He was always Dexter was supposed to be the 3, Pickens was supposed to be the 1 technique.
Mm-hmm.
But now when you bring in, Billings comes back, you bring in a Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett, you didn't bring him in to sit on the bench.
And you draft him.
There's another one.
Yep. And then you draft, right. And then you draft Shamar Turner. That's who we drafted.
Right.
And Shamar Turner, he Texas A&M, he was.
Oh, Mama, we're not going there.
He was pretty good.
Unless it's a trade for LeBron, mama, then I'm not going to like the trade.
Oh, I heard the Houston blockbuster, but we'll get back to that, Mom, in a minute.
We'll break down a little football basketball talk for sure.
But somebody else that's a practice squad player, maybe special team, odd man's out. Correct. Dominic Robinson is still on the team, at least on the roster. And he was a project. He was a Poles project, right?
And he has failed. I mean, again, he hasn't really given a chance. But I
like Daniel Hardy as a pin your ears back and just go. I like him. Does he see some time at linebacker, perhaps? There's questions. There's questions for sure.
Guys like Hardy, though, need to be able to find themselves to be versatile. You need to be that utility type of guy to stay on the team. If you're just strictly going to be that linebacker, that pin your ears back type of guy, there's only so many guys like that we can have on the team.
So he doesn't fit the mold of the type of player Dennis Allen likes. Dennis Allen likes big, 6'5", 6'6".
He's not that player.
80, 290. Hardy's only, I think he's tall, but he's like 240 if I'm not mistaken. Somebody check. I think he's like 240.
He's more of your speedster type guy. He's not a big guy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, can he give us something at linebacker? Because right now, is Hippolyte, is he going to start at linebacker at that weak side linebacker? I mean, you did draft him, with the 5th?
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to see a lot of movement in training camp and preseason and all that. They're going to try multiple people at those positions because, like you just said, that other end, you did just pay Io, so you got it, or not Io, AO. You did just pay AO, but at the same time, you do need a linebacker as well. Like, I wouldn't be mad to try to see Pickens got some step. He's got some speed. I mean, he might not be that bad as a linebacker type, but
Pickens too big to be a linebacker. Hardy would be the one because he's too.
I meant Hardy. My mistake. Yeah, I meant Hardy. Pickens actually, I could see possibly moving to the outside to maybe even get a few reps and everything as well because he is big, but he does have a nice, quick first step. But from what I hear out of practices, his footwork is awful. And I mean, answer Ron's question. Brisker is going to be back. Don't worry about Brisker. I mean, the biggest question that anyone's going to have, everyone's going to be on their mind with Brisker is, are they going to re-sign him? Because I've said it from the get-go, because I've had a lot of concussions in my life. I'm sorry, it does not take that long to recover from a concussion, especially, I mean, what was that, only his second? I mean, I don't know how severe it was, but
I mean, it took him out the rest of the season.
I mean, he was practicing.
Tua came back multiple times.
And from what I've heard with Brisker is he was practicing. So you can't practice if you have concussions.
Like, so that might have been a coaching decision. Another reason why Eberflus is out of here.
Yeah. Well, Brisker was pretty active. I think there was more. There was more to Brisker. There was definitely more to Brisker that hopefully they worked out in the offseason. And I mean, I hope he comes back. I mean, I think you have to. I was talking to my man C. Morgan, who's a podcast member, Chicago Clubhouse member on Facebook, and we had a really good discussion Sunday. And he put this in perspective for me. Like, as great as Brisker could be, he's trending to be a Mark Carrier, Mike Brown type safety, which means 6 to 7 year window, he's great, but that's all you're gonna get. You're worried about those injuries for sure.
And that's scary to me because for those who are in the Wayback Machine, Mark Carrier was a dog at safety for us, especially his first year. He had like 10 picks, 11 picks his first year or something like that, second year.
Yeah.
And then we all know what Mike Brown was to this team, damn near the heart and soul, you know?
Yep.
All I got to say is that last year, when he hurt himself again in that last year and he was bawling his eyes out on the cart, I was bawling my eyes out with him because I knew it was over right there. And it was just like losing that type of caliber player, that leader that he was, great player. And it sucked, man. But I mean, that's what I see perfectly. Brisker is like a Mike Brown. I'm not comparing him to Mike Brown, people. Very hard to ever compare somebody to Mike Brown. But the way he plays the game is very, very similar to like how Mike Brown played the game. And you got the injuries early, so you're always worried about that stuff.
I wanted to ask you guys real quick, who could be a hard cut on the defensive end part of it? Not the defensive end, the defensive of cornerbacks and DBs.
That's tough. We're really deep in this.
That's why I wanted to ask, because I'm looking at that position and all the guys. We have some decent names there,
Blackwell, Terrell Smith, maybe.
What about Jonathan Owens? How do you think he fits?
Jonathan Owens is too reliable of a.
I think you got to keep Owens because
player.
If
Jonathan Owens will stay.
Right.
Yeah.
If Brisker or Byard get hurt, or if Byard just isn't performing, Owens can step in at either side. So I think Owens
will stay for sure.
To stay. And he's a real heady player, right?
But Terrell Smith, if I'm not mistaken, he's got the size too, right? And I mean, since we re-signed Kyler, we're not going to see him at nickel. But I mean, who's the better special teams player? I think they're both actually pretty good special teams players.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult one for sure.
Well, I that makes me have to ask this question, then, fellas, to piggyback off what you just said, Kirk. Who's better between Terrell Smith and Tyreek Stevenson then?
I mean, I'm still giving that to Tyreek, but yeah, I would still have to. I am. I mean, I'm not a fan of Tyreek. I still think he has a much bigger upside, but would I be mad if we traded Tyreek? No, because I said it from the get-go. I wanted my guy Kyler on the outside to begin with because he deserves to be out there 100% of the time.
So, but here's my question. If you put up a schematic and you looked at both of them, they're both 6 feet, they're both between 204 and 205.
Very similar players.
One played in the ACC, one played in the Big Ten. So they have, both are in their third year. The only problem is I've seen Terrell Smith's versatility. I have not seen Tyreek. Not because Tyreek can't, because we haven't seen Tyreek be put in the position to show his versatility.
Yeah. I've seen Tyreek more on the physical side than I've seen Smith.
Press man. I love Tyreek and press man.
Yeah. When we're talking about like athleticism and stuff like that, I would give that to Terrell Smith over Stevenson as well.
But I'll take Terrell Smith just because I'm not going to worry about him being like somewhat of losing his mind on the field, being a head case at all. And not to say that Tyreek's a major head case.
He did that this year, though.
But he had some brain parts where he's just not thinking straight. He's had his head in the clouds, and so I don't see Tyrell Smith making the same type of mistakes there. He's
more of a safer type player, while Tyreek might gamble a little bit more, but then he might make it work.
So here's the thing:
he may not be as explosive though. But
knowing that Dennis Allen needs to put his best product out on the field, because although we love the fact that we have a really good DC, the pieces have to fit. They have to learn the system. They have to perform.
Mm-hmm.
There's we're 13th in defense under Eberflus, who is a good defensive mind. Our weakness is still pass rush. When Billings back, our run defense should go up.
Absolutely.
On paper, our pass defense is good, but now that you're putting Kyler, well, we're assuming that you're putting Kyler at that number. I didn't even call him number 2. You got left cornerback and a right cornerback. We got JJ and Kyler. To me, that's putting your best coverage players out there.
Agreed. And I agree with that.
Do go nickel, though. Is that a job for Tyreek Stevens? Because now you're guarding tight ends and slot receivers, or is that a job for Terrell Smith?
I'd be more worried if you're saying that you're going to be putting Kyler at corner, and then when we go to nickel, Tyreek's going to be going out there. I don't see Tyreek doing that. I don't see him wanting to do that. I see him throwing a fit and being a little bitch. No offense, but I just see him doing that. When Terrell Smith has been a rotationary type piece and everything, a very, very reliable rotationary type piece. Mm-hmm. Like if you're talking about a situation like that, I would rather have Terrell Smith than Tyreek Stevenson, in my opinion.
What about coverage, though? Because if Jalen Johnson's top 5 in coverage, I would assume next season we would be looking for Kyler Gordon as well to be no less than top.
Yeah.
No, I would love, and I've said this numerous times, I'd love to see Kyler Gordon go back to the outside. And I mean, you could still float him in nickel. Like, I mean, I'd love to see him more of like a blitz linebacker type package and everything like that as well. Like, they're going to throw him in so many different positions because he can do so many different things. But the question is, you're going to have to cut those minutes off somebody on that defensive side, and I just don't see Tyreek Stevenson wanting that.
forget what he wants. I'm looking at what's
I
best
know
for the
that.
team.
I don't care what he wants either. It's just I'm just saying, like, as far as like a morale type situation, I think it's going to hurt people in the locker room. But I mean, you have a coaching staff who isn't going to put up with that shit. They're going to be like, I don't fucking care what you want, dude.
Well, I hope the coaching staff can teach Kyler to make the right angles on some of these sacks, because seeing how some of the quarterbacks are able to slip away and just not taking the proper angles, not to really bag on him because he's still dynamic, he's still great, but
Kyler's biggest thing is he needs to kind of knife through those big defensive linemen and everything like that. And when you're trying to knife through that type size, it's very hard to get a proper angle. Like, even if he's just showing that blitz and he doesn't get to the quarterback, it's still making the quarterback uncomfortable and on the move. And that's where you got to rely on a healthy Montez Sweat. And you're hoping you paid AO to freaking be that type of guy as well. If you're going to get Kyler coming in on that blitz, just causing them to get off of a line or just out of rhythm and everything like that, that should work regardless, especially with our secondary. Should.
Well, it should, but then I look in our own division where your first game, even if it is J.J. McCarthy, you're coming out and you're going against Jalen Naylor, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hockenson, Aaron Jones. Like, you're coming out going against a track team.
And not to mention, you said a really interesting person too in J.J. McCarthy. You know he's going to want to prove a point right away. The first game that he plays, he is going to want to air the ball out to say, I belong here. All right, because a lot of people, including me, I don't think he's NFL ready. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Tim Tebow do that galore? Like, he came out and killed it right from the get-go. But then when people started figuring him out,
well, Tim Tebow was a little different because he was prematurely drafted in the first round, but his claim to fame was he got a team to the playoffs because he came in because of an injury or spot duty or whatever, but he won a playoff game because what's his name? I thought he passed away.
Demarius Thomas.
Demarius Thomas had some like great catch and just took off on Pittsburgh.
It was a yak yard. It was like a perfect pass.
Against Pittsburgh. But Tebow kept him, you know what I'm saying, kept him moving, kept him in the game. I don't think this is exactly the same because J.J. McCarthy, see, here's the thing. You have to know your opponent. Like, when you play in chess, you don't approach it like checkers, right? You got to know your opponent, your strategies. Time of war, you want to know your tendencies of the general you're going against. Kevin O'Connell basically not only resurrected Sam Darnold's career, but got Sam Darnold paid.
He did.
For them to say, hey, we don't need him anymore, regardless of where we drafted JJ. JJ may or may not be ready. Forget all that. He's ready because I'm coaching. I'm not so unsure that JJ doesn't give us a Bo Nix or a Justin Herbert type rookie / second season. I'm just not.
Mr. Dominguez, how we doing?
Hey, now, I'm just not sold that the J.J. McCarthy experiment is like, hey, we know we're only going to win 5 games with the kid this year. No, I think they're thinking that J.J. can do it. That J.J. can get it done. I really do.
It's gonna be interesting because, I mean, you still got Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is going to make any quarterback better. Aaron Jones going to want to come back and prove it this year because he didn't really have that great of a year last year.
Jordan Addison,
Jordan Addison, I drafted him in fantasy, man, and he helped take me to the promised land that second half of the season. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, man, I don't know what people are thinking. I understand the fandom. I understand the Kool-Aid. I don't sip it, but I understand it. You cannot sit up here and tell me that those kids from the north, both sides of the state, don't scare you. Aaron Jones is a problem.
Yeah.
Right? T.J. Hockenson, problem. Justin Jefferson, problem. Jalen Naylor, problem. Jordan Addison, problem. Like, they are not this team that we just need to overlook because we got a so-called unknown.
I would even say Jordan Mason, the running back they traded for, is an issue too.
I was going to ask you, like, him, Cam Akers, like, because they still got Cam Akers, who is more than serviceable.
I mean,
yeah, he just can't stay on the field.
Yeah, you can't stay healthy. Yeah,
but he's the number 3.
I mean, exactly. He's going to be like a gadget type running back and everything. You can just throw him out there and all of a sudden he breaks one.
I think Ty Chandler or Tyson Chandler is their more.
He's going to take the 2. He's going to take the 2. Yeah. Okay. Well, which is it's hey, and then we already know whatever people think about coaching. We already know what's going on in Detroit. Like you still have player after player after player with a pissed off Aiden Hutchinson coming back.
Yeah, and my thing is with Detroit, and everyone keeps trying to say it, that they're going to take a massive dive once losing Ben Johnson. They're going to take an offensive dip. I don't think Jared Goff is going to have that great of a season either. But the thing is, they are just way too deep in so many different positions where it's not going to hurt them that bad. I mean, it really isn't. I still have them taking the North. I mean, I still have that. Bears always give them a run for their money, though. I'm not going to lie to that.
Yeah, they may not win it by as many games, but they're still gonna. I
still think that they're gonna take it. Yeah, I still think that they're gonna take it, and the Packers are gonna finish last.
Well, I mean,
come on, give it to me.
Right? You're drinking the Kool-Aid again.
No, there's alcohol in that.
I would love for that.
It's a mixture with some.
I would love nothing more. You know what? I would love for the Packers to go 0-17, but that would crush me because they're just gonna end up with the number 1 pick next year, and they'll probably bring what's my man's name?
Archie Manning, or the Archie Manning's
Arch Manning. Like it'll be some bull that now we're dealing with another.
They have another 30 years of QB success.
Archie Manning's going to Dallas. Watch, Dallas will be 0-16 this year.
And that's even I wouldn't say all that.
I'm not saying all that.
But you know, like for real, like Jared Goff under Sean McVay's tutelage, pretty good. Went to the Super Bowl. He's a system quarterback. Under this system, John Morton already came in. He was on the staff. He was passing game coordinator. He's going to run the same system that Ben Johnson ran. It won't be any different. John Morton has been under John Gruden and Sean Payton. That's scary because those are 2 real good offensive minds. You still got to deal with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. That's a problem. St. Brown, Laporta, Khalif Raymond. I don't know if they resigned Tim Patrick, Jameson Williams. Like you still have a lot of problems in the NFC North that you have to deal with. So while everybody's with the smoke and mirrors about Caleb, we have to make sure that our defense is up to par because we're not going against the little sisters of the poor.
Our division is tough. Man.
No, it's one of the tougher ones.
It is tough.
Josh Jacobs, Josh Jacobs lives against us.
It'll be. I mean, and I'm not dissing Josh Jacobs, but I want to see if he can put it together for another year like he did because. I mean, he did come off of an injury. He did have a lot of carries, and he was dominant. Can he do it for another season? I mean, that's going to be a big question. And that was actually going to lead into my next one. Anyone else hearing all these stories that Chubbs is looking like it's a very, very strong possibility. He is joining the Bears.
I have no problem with Chubb. My only issue
is him as your 2. He is your 2.
What are they paying him? That's the only thing. I don't want to overpay him or whatever. If they overpay him, I'm going to be like, really, guys?
But what are you paying him? Put on your GM hat. What are we paying him?
What are the last old signing running back got this past offseason? I think around $2 million, $2.5 million. I would
wait. Well, who was that though? Who are we speaking of?
Chubb.
No, I'm saying you said the last running back got 2. Who
I'll go look it up right now and stuff and find out in the free agent list some of the older backs and that got paid this offseason.
Well, I mean, if you're asking me, looking at Chubbs right now, and you're paying him just solely based on a 1-year deal to see how it pays off, I'm paying him at least 5. It's a 1-year deal. It's not going to hurt me. It's a 1-year deal. It's a proven 1-year deal.
I know the NBA has like a veterans exception and all that. I don't think the NFL has something like that. But if you're first of all with Swift, if you're bringing in Chubb, you're not bringing Chubb in to be your number 1. You're bringing him in to mimic that Sonic and Knuckles thing that Detroit had, right? Which I'm fine with it.
100% fine with.
But that just told you what they think about Roshan. That also told you that David Monangai is not expected to do much this year.
I mean, you drafted him. What was the 7th round? I wouldn't really expect him to do that much this year either, though. So
I thought about that.
I still, if you do sign Chubbs, that pretty much means the end of Roshan, in my opinion.
To me, it does, because now Monangai is going to take the next step. But Isaiah Pacheco was drafted in the 2nd round for the Chiefs, came in and was starting. He actually took Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He took his starting spot. Monangai, to me, is like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, like that style, real stout, bam, break a lot of tackles, good speed. I don't have a problem with him, but now we're talking about that running back room getting a little full too.
Agreed.
All right, and I know Lorenzo, I like Monangai. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if you bring Chubb in, it's like you're playing Madden. You're bringing him in like all chips on the table. You're not bringing in Nick Chubb to be here for the next 5 years.
No, you're bringing him on a 1-year deal.
Like, I was going to say 2, because
I'd be interested in even a 2. Like, I mean,
it's not sign here for 1 year.
If you're saying like a $3 million, $3.5 million a contract a year for 2 years, I would do that for Chubb. It's taking a gamble on somebody. It's high risk. You're not getting charged low pay on it. Like, I mean, yes, we're looking at Chubb. I mean, there's no question that knee's not going to hold up with all the damage that happened to it and everything like that. But watching him in the offseason, man, like,
wait, was he one of the ones that had the complete
yes
reconstruction? Okay, so everything's new.
Yes.
LCL,
you don't know how.
PCL, MCL,
but even on a bad knee like that, I'm sorry, man, you shouldn't be able to hurl over shit and hit your head off through the ceiling. Like, with a bad knee, you shouldn't. But I mean, that's not the same as playing 18 games and everything like that too.
All right. So JD, you asked the question here. So this year, Najee Harris got 1 year, $5.25 million. So,
and that's because he left Pittsburgh. But Najee, if I'm not mistaken, came off of not a subpar, but a less than Najee Harris year.
Javonte Williams got 1 year, $3 million. Rico Dow got 2 years, $750.
Now that's from Rico Dowdell from Dallas.
Correct.
That's where I would put Chubb in that realm, because he's not going to get a lot of carries.
And that's what I said. That's what I'm saying. I'm cool with that one, but I would not be comfortable with paying him Najee money. No,
because Najee is going to be he's going to be damn near the number one.
But I mean, granted, at the end of the day, it ain't my money, so it's not like I'm going to be fitting the bill. But in my opinion,
they still got the money.
I would just say that they would have overpaid or whatever. So I guess they re-signed Travis as well. They gave him 1 year and $1.75 million, so almost a little on $2 million as well.
Yeah,
so
I mean, and that's the thing, and I understand it. But I mean, if you are just doing a 1 year, say $5 million a year, I would do that for Nick Chubb, because that's just going to benefit Swift as well, in my opinion. If you're gonna bring in somebody like Chubb, and I'm not talking about in a mentor role, I'm talking about what we mimic in Detroit right now. When you're talking about a Gibbs and a Montgomery type, I'm not saying Montgomery, that's not a comparison, people, but I'm just saying that caliber type. You need that bruiser, especially in those cold weather type days.
You do. Okay, well, Lorenzo, you know what? I would love for you to pop on and let us know why you feel that way, because my thing, Lorenzo, is this. When we used to sit up and take the salary cap off and play Madden, and you got Reggie White and Bruce Smith on the same team, you got Deion Sanders and Rod Woodson on the same team, you have Bo Jackson and Barry Sanders on the same team, and you do all these crazy things, and then you realize, damn, he ain't getting enough carries for the money. He ain't getting enough receiving yards. He's not getting enough receptions. Hell, he just ain't getting enough targets. I don't want to. I want names, but I don't want to go name crazy.
Yeah,
because eventually, one, names want to get paid, and two, after certain productions, names will not be sitting here any longer. Names will be leaving our franchise, going to somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Now we're no longer counting on those people.
No, you are correct on that.
And I don't mind bringing in a Nick Chubb. It sounds crazy, a Nick Chubb on a prove-it deal, because Nick Chubb has been one of the better backs in the NFL, in his tenure, right? But I'm I'm going somewhere different, Tank. I'm kind of concerned about the Georgia running backs.
I mean, that's fair.
Has Swift set the world on fire? No. Nick Chubb has been great, but he's been hurt. Don't get me started on Noshawn Moreno. Where the hell is he?
Yeah, but I mean, this is the key thing. If you don't go out and get a Chubb, and don't get me wrong, I like the running back we drafted, but I mean, I don't think he's an NFL caliber running back yet. I just don't see it. That's why he slipped all the way to the 7th round. But I mean, in my opinion, I felt the same way you did. I didn't want to give up on Roschon until we had back-to-back guests on this show tell us that Roschon wasn't cutting in practices either. He just wasn't that hard-nosed worker and everything like that off the field. And that worries me.
Let me point this out to you and see if I have a thing here. They based drafting Roschon off of his production alongside Bijan Robinson.
Agreed.
Was his production only as good as it was because of Bijan? Not a true 1-2. Like, it's not taboo to say, well, maybe Roschon wasn't as good as we thought he was, or maybe we didn't draft.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been like Bijan made him look a lot better because when they were all
Bijan wore everybody out. Now he comes in and
well, that's fair.
If I don't hit a strike, I'm trying to hit a spare. I don't know, but I like Roschon. I think he's hard nosed. I would like to see him play without that extra helmet thing on, which that makes me think somebody's got problems that we don't 100%. Know. Well, Lorenzo, you bring up a good point. Crook put that up. Yeah. Running backs in this new system will not be the driver, but the backseat driver using GPS. I like the way you're going with that, which is fair because the route is already predetermined for them. But we know certain people like to do their own thing. If you're not a 1-2 pop go running back and you're a 1-2, I don't think I see what I think I see, bam, is that going to fit the system? Old Nick Chubb, I would have loved to have him as our number one.
Yes.
Screw Swift.
I still feel like
we don't need him.
I still feel like hurt Nick Chubb is still going to be productive, in my opinion, especially when you do look at some of these older running backs who did go to other teams, like we just saw Josh Jacobs do in Green Bay. I'm not saying I want Chubb to be – would I love Chubb to be Josh Jacobs? Absolutely. But just seeing these older running backs, they're not really older. It's just NFL standards, they're older. Running backs going elsewhere and having very good success, that really has to make you think. And, I mean, if it's a 1-year prove-it deal and then you draft yourself a good running back in the top 3 rounds next year.
It does, Frank, but Nick Chubb has been hurt the last 2 years. Like,
it's fair. Yeah,
got hurt in 23, played 2 games. Came back, okay, bam.
What wasn't this his first surgery though, where he literally got it taken care of? I thought all the other years he tried playing through it and it got worse.
No,
he actually did have surgery.
I thought, well, I could be wrong, but I thought Nick Chubb had back-to-back surgeries, back-to-back years.
Oh, no, I think you are right. Yeah, it was back-to-back years.
Yeah, it wasn't any time in between. I thought it was literally 23, 24. Yeah. He got hurt back-to-back years. But he got hurt so early. He got hurt so early in 23, right? It was like early on because I had him on my fantasy.
Yeah. But then wasn't he hurt in college as well? He had an early college injury?
Yes, he did.
So it's just like, dude, like how many more times can you repair that knee?
But I mean, that's the thing. As much as I mean, if it's a 1-year prove it type deal, I'm just like, hey.
But 1 year prove it, not for 5. For 2 and some change, yes, not for 5.
Yeah, and the craziest thing is
you would expect out of him then?
Yeah.
How many games would you expect out of him from the 1-year deal then?
I mean, I would honestly, in my opinion,
deal, I need 12 or better.
Absolutely 12 or better. I'm actually going above that because I don't think he's going to get nearly as much reps as he would have to actually hurt himself. I'm hoping to get a 14, 15 games out of him.
Oh my dear.
But the question is, will you? No, nobody knows.
The reason I say 12,
he can't be the number one option. That's the thing.
He won't be. But the reason I say 12 is because I'm giving him a buffer game 1 through 5.
Like, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
let's make sure you're
to
completely
get himself
healthy.
in football shape and everything like
Right.
that.
I don't want to just put you in game one and then you're like.
Agreed. I like that.
Give him 15 carries game one.
I expect him to finish the year. That's my key thing. But yeah, I do agree. Like I do like that, JB. That makes sense.
See, I'm thinking you would be lucky if we get 8 games out of him. Just because of
it hurts. I mean, it could happen. Nobody knows.
Guys, trust me, I would love the 12 to 14. That would be fucking like hats off, like hallelujah. But I'm just looking at how he's been the last few years with the injury bugs that get him, where he misses. I'm not saying all at once. He'll miss like 2 games because of an ankle injury. Comes back.
He's only played 2 complete seasons. I mean, he's only played every game 2 seasons out of his. What has he been in the league? 7 years, something like that. 7, 8 years,
something like 6, 7, 6,
something like that. So yeah, around that. Yeah.
Like I remember looking at that a while ago because again, fantasy. Like I got him on my team. Like does this kid play? And it's like when he plays. He's not going to get you 2,000 yards, but he's going to get you them tough yards. He's going to be relevant in the blocking game because he protects his quarterback, and he's going to get those hard yards, that 1 and 2 yard line.
Goal line.
Yeah, but I mean, my key thing too is, I mean, it shows because Cleveland did want him back. Cleveland was willing to work out a deal to bring him back on another 1-year deal, but he didn't want to come back to Cleveland. I mean, that's interesting. And I mean, from what I'm hearing from the people that I know, it's down to 2 teams, and that's the Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bears. Unless another team floats in there, it's those 2 teams that are willing to offer him at least a solid payday and a chance to be a running back. Maybe not a starter.
I have to ask you both this. Is Nick Chubb, or has Nick Chubb been considered an elite running back? Don't go off name.
Yeah,
don't just go off name.
When he was on the field healthy, he was elite, but you can't put him in an elite category.
Wait, was he elite or was he just very good?
He was very good.
Close to elite.
He wasn't Christian McCaffrey.
Lowercase elite.
Jonathan Taylor. He wasn't a Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
He was not
Saquon. He wasn't Derrick Henry.
I don't need an elite. I don't need an elite Nick Chubb right now. I just need a productive Nick Chubb that can bruise.
No. That's my thing. So at Nick Chubb's highest powers, he was not elite. He was very good.
I mean, there's a lot of running backs who are not elite.
But let me see. Now you're thinking like I'm thinking, because now if you get a Nick Chubb, is he not automatically considered better than Swift?
Not with his injury history. I'm not putting
just production.
Just the type of running back. A better.
If both of them were 100% healthy with no issues, yes, Nick Chubb is better than Swift. I mean, there's no question on that. But
man, I don't know.
Swift has been.
It shouldn't be this close.
Running back.
There you go, Chris. It shouldn't be. It should be. It shouldn't be that close. It should be more defined than that, and that is so Bear-esque. Now, if you feel that Chubb is the answer as your number 2, I'm with you.
That's all I want is him to be my number 2.
Because there are some people that's like, oh man, a healthy Nick Chubb, bring him in there. We don't need Swift.
You do. Love you, Am. Love you. Well, you're not trading Swift if you're signing Chubb. I mean, come on, it's not gonna happen.
TC thinks when he is elite when healthy.
So I consider him as close to elite as possible when he was healthy.
I think
that guy was a monster.
You know how you got Hall of Fame and Hall of Very Good? I think he's Hall of Very Good.
I agree with that. Like Eddie George.
Ooh.
Hall of Very Good. Hall of Very Good.
Get off topic here. Not get off topic.
But that's I actually think that Eddie George is a fair comparison to how Nick Chubb played. Or plays, rather.
I agree 100% with you, TC. 100% with you. That's where I'm saying. I'm not saying Chubb is going to come in here and be the number 1. And I'm not comparing what the Lions had in Gibbs and Montgomery. But when you look at that 1-2 punch of a Swift and a Chubbs, like that is just a beautiful 1-2 punch because they're 2 totally different players. Gibbs is still going to be your speedster. He's still going to get you more of the yards while you have Chubb, who's going to do the hard work. I love it.
Well, but that's the thing. Chubb was a bell cow back for the Cleveland Browns. You're not bringing him here to be
you're not
bell
bringing
cow.
him here.
You're bringing him to, okay, we're winning by 2 touchdowns. Let's slow the game down. Let's grind out these extra 2. It's 3rd and 2. Well, Swift, I don't need you to be 204. Give me the guy that's 230. Like that kind of craziness, right? But the Eddie George thing, because I remember Eddie George used to have a lot of carries. He didn't. He was never a.
But Eddie George was never really an injury problem, though, was he? He never really had too many injury problems.
No. Eddie was durable.
If I'm comparing Eddie George to a Nick Chubb, I don't see that being that great of a comparison, because if Nick Chubb stayed healthy, he would not be a Hall of Very Good. He would be a Hall of Fame dominant.
Well, I think it's because of the style and the carries. Like, they both have a lot of carries. If y'all remember.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree with that, because Cleveland just abused the hell out of Nick Chubb. He was your guy. He got the ball.
Well, I'm not even gonna say they abused him, but the style, because I remember, I don't know how far back you guys go, but I remember when old Tennessee Titans football was like Eddie George right, Eddie George left, Eddie George up the middle, first down, play action, Steve McNair. I remember that.
So if we're talking about the amount of times you've gotten the ball and the abuse that you have taken, for sure you can compare that Eddie George and Nick Chubb.
Yeah, because George has far more carries per season. Eddie George was in the 300s, damn near every year. No, not damn near. I want to say every year he was productive. He was always he was definitely 3 yards on the cloud of smoke. That's what Eddie George was. But when I say elite, and I'm not even going to go back to the Walters and the Jim Browns and the Barry Sanders, I'm going to bring it into more modern time 2000. I'm talking about the CJ2Ks. I'm talking about the Marshall Faulks. I'm talking about the obviously the Saquons, the Josh Jacobs, McCaffreys, and all them guys, of course. Was the Robert Smiths even what was my man name for Atlanta? Jamal Anderson.
Jamal, okay.
Remember, for a 3-year stretch, Todd Gurley was elite before he got hurt.
Sean Alexander.
One of the good one as well. Yeah, Sean Alexander's actually good for the
Seahawks MVP, right? Alabama.
Chris Johnson.
Hey, CJ2K, 2,000 yards, ran a 4.27 4 years.
Saying.
Chubb is good, but he's not one of them. That's why I say he's not elite. Grizz, Priest Holmes out of Texas, good call. Ooh. Priest Holmes was a monster too, and in the passing game.
Yeah.
But is Nick Chubb or Priest Holmes? I'm gonna say no.
Mm.
No. Well, I agree. Like I said, the Hall of Very Good for me. But
Hall of Very Good.
But anyways.
Well, okay, TC, you're a Cowboys fan. He's in Dallas. You love for the okay. Now let's put it out there.
Okay.
You just came off of having Tony Pollard. You didn't sign him. You let him go. Ooh, Dorsey Levens, Green Bay, good pick. But if you go in your lore, prior to him, you had Ezekiel Elliott, who, if I'm not mistaken, led the league in rushing as a rookie.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to him, man.
Ezekiel Elliott's career.
He had maybe 2, maybe 3 really good years. Yeah, he had
DeMarco. Is it DeMarco? DeMarco Murray.
Yeah,
had
a good one, yeah.
1 year, but it was a phenomenal year. I want to say about 1,800 yards for Dallas. There's guys out there that Nick Chubb can't hold a candle to. We're just saying that Nick Chubb is a very good running back, and he would help us for what we want to. For what?
Agreed. None of us are saying that he's coming in to be your number one. None of us.
I wouldn't expect that. No.
He is coming in to be your secondary option with that 1-2 punch.
I think him and Roschon would be competing for the number 2 back, almost splitting number 2 back duties.
It'll be very interesting to see what they do with Roschon if they do bring in.
Can I ask you guys a quick question? While we're still in the running back,
Roschon's a new Herbert.
Go for it.
Go ahead. I mean, just saying.
We were waiting. Yeah, we were waiting.
But go ahead, JB.
What do we do with Ian Wheeler? Because isn't he back?
Oh yeah. I mean,
4-3 guy, right?
The team, and he's a speedster guy, right?
He's like what's my man that used to play for Jared McKinnon? He's like
okay, yeah. Change your pace back.
And he was very good in the preseason.
Yeah, he just couldn't. He had that one good game, and then he got
hurt. Remember?
Right. He got hurt. Yep.
He got hit, and he got I think he was a knee too, right?
Yeah. So I mean, he's one of those guys too, where he's an intriguing name, but it'll be interesting to see if he even makes the final roster, type of thing. He may be a practice squad guy. That's almost what he's always been. This type of a practice squad, borderline fringe type of running back and stuff.
Only person I know for sure, the two people I know for sure that's going to make the team are DeAndre Swift and Travis Homer. Those are two people I know for sure going to make the team. Because Travis Homer, he's got that special teams position locked.
He's a dominant special teams guy. Yeah, he isn't going to lose that spot. That's why I'm sad to say is if you do get a Chubb, Roshan might be traded.
Jay Grizz, right there. Yes. Curtis Martin, a dog. Both a dog at New England and at the Jets.
Yeah.
Chubb's not elite. He's very good. He's not elite.
But
I'll take very good.
I would love to still have him.
Yeah, I would take very good right now. I would take good.
I want him over. They were talking about J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins don't stay healthy. He's never had 1,000 yards. Like, let him go somewhere else.
This past offseason was the longest he's been healthy the majority of the season there. Like I said, most of the time he's hurt by week 4.
Right.
So JK lasting all the way to week 12 was a hats off for the guy type of thing. Like, good for you, kid. So
sure. Yeah, but hard pass.
Yeah, for sure. Chicago sports, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for joining.
Let's can we move to that receiver room real quick?
Yeah, let's break down some receivers.
What's up with Luther Burden?
Soft tissue injuries, I'm hearing. So he's a little soft right now.
I'm concerned.
I'm not concerned. Too early.
I'm concerned because hammies linger.
Yeah.
That's not what you want to see from your first pick in the second round there. You're hoping he could hit the ground more, especially since we already see that the tight end, Loveland, is coming back from an injury and not able to kind of get on the field right away as well. So right off the bat, seeing your first 2 picks, kind of nursing, coming in limping in the offseason is a little.
One I get because you just had surgery.
Yes, you expected that.
AC joint surgery.
And he's going to be ready by training camp. So, I'm not.
Burden, thank you. I appreciate that Chicago Sports Podcast. 5 for Chicago love. My thing with the Burden situation is if he's got a soft tissue hamstring injury now, hey, sit down.
Agreed.
No more OT. Sit down till training camp till you are 1,000%. Because you, sir, in my opinion, are going to be an integral part of this offense. I don't care that we signed Devin Duvernay. I don't care that we signed Olamide Zaccheaus. Give me some Luther Burden in that 3 wide receiver set. I need that. And I just look at Bear. Thank you, Logan. I hope he will be ready. I just fear, the Bear fan in me won't let me fan like you guys. I've seen this story before.
A lot of wide receivers with the Chicago Bears, man.
I hate that rerun. We've definitely seen it before. So who, in your opinion, is DJ the hands down number 1 receiving option in this offense?
At least day one, yes.
Is there a chance that Rome starts to kind of slowly pull that shit away from him this season?
It'll be interesting for sure.
No, okay, number 1 option does not always mean number 1 production.
Especially with Ben Johnson, there isn't really number 1
because
option.
I was going to say I would see a lot more tight end / slot roam.
Agreed.
Because the connection between, if you just look at last year,
Ron,
a lot of although DJ led the team,
he should be like a tattoo. Put that on a shirt.
I hope he's not a bird today. Oh God, that's crazy. Yeah. Ron, I love that.
No, have a picture of a bear with a limp leg or some shit, wrapped up leg.
Bird and the bear.
With the hamstring wrapped up already.
Hey, Ron, come on the show when you get a chance. I love that in you.
That's a good one.
But I just feel that the ball will be spread around a little bit more. But even if you go to last year, in my opinion, only until you all speak, I felt that Caleb was more comfortable throwing to Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I felt like that too, like it was a safe option.
Like nobody's open. Where's 13?
I thought it was between him and Rome, and DJ sometimes was.
But I mean, that was the thing though. Like too many times did we see DJ blocking? Like,
but remember, DJ got the most catches too because the screen pass, like those screen passes add up.
Yeah, that's the only passes that he pretty much got. But when you're looking in a Ben Johnson type offense, you're going to see DJ on the deep ball. You're going to see DJ on the quick hit slants. You're going to see DJ on the screens. You're going to see DJ in a lot of different things. That's just going to open DJ up.
Wait, are you sure?
I do really feel like that. I mean, because I still see my fault. I still see Rome being another, like, it'll be interesting to see. DJ is your number one to start the season, in my opinion. That's going to happen. But I just don't see anybody being number ones in Ben Johnson's offense. Everyone's going to get moved around a lot.
Well, I don't agree with that. Only because I've seen Amon-Ra St. Brown be number one in Ben Johnson's offense.
But I mean, this past year, you did not see him be number one.
I think he still led.
But that was the thing. He didn't lead as much as he normally does. They spread it out in so many different places this past season, and St. Brown took a huge dip on his numbers.
But watch this. You know, I love my numbers. But commits don't kill me. If you see 17 game sample, 96 catches, 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns with Justin Fields, 14 yards plus a pass, right? I mean, a reception. That's with Justin Fields. The guy that can't throw the ball, an offense that can't get off the ground, blah, 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 blah. Then with a so-called better quarterback, better system, better play caller, 2 more catches, but not even 1,000 yards and 2 less touchdowns. Something's not adding up.
No, I mean, you said something very false in a better play caller. He wasn't a better play caller.
Well, no.
I would give Getsy a better play caller than Waldron.
Shane Waldron? Well,
I give Getsy a better play caller than Waldron was. I'm not saying Getsy was a good play caller, but I'm saying he was at least better. He ran more than
coordinator than Shane Waldron. That's the major difference there.
They both suck. Like, hands down, they both sucked.
Yeah.
But Waldron,
I was going, and I receive your take. My take, I was going a little different. I was going left because, like, that's what it looks like when you actually feature your number one receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the 98 catches, but I'm throwing the ball down the field to him. I'm letting him go get it. The difference between having 13, almost 1,400 yards, and the difference between having 900 yards, almost 1,000, 400 plus yards difference. That's a game changer right there.
It is.
Yeah, but that's your point. Throwing the ball downfield more as well.
It's throwing the ball downfield.
And I mean, don't get me wrong too. I'm not saying Waldron didn't throw the ball downfield because Caleb missed a lot of deep balls down the field.
But he didn't throw to DJ a lot downfield.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And that was early on in the year. But for some odd reason, the second half of the season, they did not throw the ball down the field anymore. And I think that was mainly because maybe they didn't trust Caleb. I don't know.
No, I think Caleb just was like –
Caleb just was not setting his feet when he was throwing the ball. He was trying to throw.
Well, even when he did set his feet, he was sailed. But I think that goes back to Waldron's philosophy of take the shot.
Yeah.
Caleb was so unsure and lost there just because of how much chaos was in that offensive room. Like
very true.
You come in like by week 4 or whatnot, you're getting rid of Shane Waldron. So then like you have the new offensive coordinator Brown come in. So you got a new voice in your head there. You know what I mean? So, I mean, like after it's almost a revolving door there at that, coaching position.
Yes, but I don't want to make excuses for the kid because it's still, I got my one-on-one matchup and it's DJ Moore. Throw the ball.
Should be give it. He doesn't lose those that often.
Throw the ball.
It should be, but like I said, I guess if you're unsure of the offense that you're running, the plays that you're calling and whatnot, then you're just looking for literally the basic, safest plays that you feel comfortable with, and that may only be 3 or 4 plays in a playbook that you kind of almost run into the ground.
I would say yes, except I've seen in the fourth quarter Caleb play like we wanted him to play for the other 3.
Okay, that's fair.
So when things get when the shit hits the fan, it's like, damn you, where's DJ? You know?
Okay.
But
you got to rely on that number one when you desperately need somebody to get it. And that number one, in my opinion, right now has to be DJ.
It should be DJ, but I kind of feel his numbers are going to take a dip again.
It'll be interesting.
What it was?
I like. There's the thing. I thought his numbers took a massive dip this year. I don't really see it taking as much of a dip.
That's what I'm saying. To take another dip.
If you're saying the year when he did very well with Justin taking a dip, yes, I understand that.
No, he took a dip for about 400 yards dip.
Yeah, but I can see where. So he's not going to even. I think what Frank's saying is like taking a dip from that production level. Still, he's not going to.
Even if it's not just yards, I'm talking about touchdowns, everything.
Not taking a dip from the last year, the 1,000. I'm talking about with DJ's defeat, because I feel like Rome coming into his own. I don't care what nobody say. You don't draft Colston Loveland unless you're going to start featuring Colston Loveland. You don't draft Luther Burden unless he's a part of your future plans. Whereas, like.
So you're saying more productive out of too much talent on the field, he's going to be losing.
Correct.
Which I see that. Correct. I do. I see that. But I mean, I think DJ Moore is the type of person where if you're winning, he doesn't care. He just wants to win.
Okay, but
he hasn't won. No matter where he has gone to, he hasn't freaking won.
That may cure it all and stuff, but like that may cure it all and stuff. But
and I am not saying. And as much as I don't want to keep bringing this up, I am not saying that DJ Moore was still completely upset with them letting go of Justin because they had such a great year together.
Absolutely.
But I'd be lying to you if that wasn't true.
Absolutely.
Because he had one of the best years. They missed like 3 games, or 2 or 3 games, and they still finished top 3 in quarterback receiving.
Check this out. When I bring that up, I don't bring it up to kind of give an extra nod to Justin. I bring it up because your number one receiver trusted this guy and clearly has no continuity with this guy. Yeah, and that's crazy because unless you broke down the numbers, nobody would ever believe that Justin was a better quarterback for DJ Moore than Caleb Williams. Nobody would ever believe that.
I agree.
But now you have to show and prove, which is why I asked y'all that question. I think the future dictates Caleb and Rome, Caleb and Colston, maybe even DJ comes up for trade this year or next year.
Right. Well, that's kind of why I was asking, who do you think is the number one receiver? Because I can see a lot what you're saying, JB, as far as Caleb being just drawn to Rome. Like I said, last year it kind of seemed like it was kind of trending in that direction as well, along with Allen, but Allen's gone there. But DJ, I think, like, to your point, if DJ has a similar stats that he had this season, but the Bears are winning and like getting to the playoffs, I think he could stomach that. But if he has the same amount of stats and they have the same type of record and the same type of struggles, then he's going to be like, yo, get me out of here. Like, where's the fucking exit at? You know, it may turn into a Allen Robinson type of situation where kind of checking out halfway through the season.
I can see that. I also can see Ben Johnson saying, we don't need you. He gives me that air, right? I mean, he gives me that.
It could. It very well could. I think by honestly week 3 or 4, we're going to see it.
Oh, no, we're going to see it. We're going to see it a lot sooner than that, fellas.
It could be. I'm just saying in general, possibly week 3.
Because remember, the Bears' schedule, you can put it up real quick, Kirk, so that everybody can see. The Bears' schedule does not favor for them to go on any type of losing streak. Look at that. Home, away. Home, away. Bye. Home, away. Away, away, home. Away, home.
It's gonna be tough.
Away, away, home, home. Away, home. That doesn't favor let me get a game or 2 or 3 to get it right. Not with this schedule.
No, it's a tough schedule.
So Frank, my number one is not happy week 3 carrying into week 4. That bye week, maybe it did come at the right time.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I love DJ Moore, but am I going to be 1,000%, we'll say, butthurt if he does get traded? Because, I mean, he's just not happy where he's at. I really don't, because, I mean, I thought the Burden deal or the Burden signing draft pick was huge. Like, I mean, that was huge. In case DJ does walk, we still got a 1-2.
Yeah, that part is true. And then you still got your dynamic tight end if you have to let go of Big Stiffy down the road eventually.
Yeah, as much as I don't want to let go of him. I'm a Bear fan. I'm a Bear fan, not a Notre Dame fan. I'm a Bear fan.
We question that sometimes.
I am a Notre Dame fan, but I would not choose Notre Dame over Bears.
Somebody told me this the other day, and I said it was right. You remember the Major League and Major League 2? Remember, I think that's Randy Quaid?
Yeah.
Who was like, I'm sick of this team. Vile thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's, like,
that's losers.
That's me right now. Until you prove it to me.
DJ Moore.
Right. Hard. Frank, do you want to get into that Hawk talk, or you still want to talk some Bears more?
I miss commercials.
Yeah, I know. Those commercials were really nice to actually cut it so we can go to something else.
No, so we can use the bathroom and
that too.
Refill.
That too. But yeah, we'll get into a Hawk talk, and then we could break down a little basketball as well. So I made myself a little intro here because I was tired of waiting for an intro. All right. With that Hawk talk. All right. So Blackhawks finally made that deal. Finally got that coach that supposedly they wanted. I was shocked. I thought that you were going to pretty much get somebody with, I mean, you got somebody with experience. Unfortunately, you got somebody, in my opinion, with beyond failed experience, which doesn't make any sense for me when you have such a young core team and everything. You brought in a coach, and I wanted JB to be on as far as when I broke this down, because he's going to get a laugh out of this, because I want to give a little comparison on what I think of this new Blackhawks coach. He was a very, very successful AHL coach. A lot of playoff experience, won a Calder Cup championship as well. He came to the NHL. He signed with the Detroit Red Wings. He was their first head coach with Detroit, but he got more of an aging team. All right, all those players were getting ready to retire and everything. So, I mean, he had a few like 500 style. I think he had one good season, but all the rest were pretty much 500 type seasons. Then they decided to rebuild. They kept him on. They signed him on for a contract to be a part of the rebuild. And the rebuild failed miserably. And my biggest problem with this is the Blackhawks, you're hoping, are at a tail end of a rebuild. You need somebody to get them over that edge. Why would you bring somebody in here who has already had a failed rebuild? I don't get it. I'm not a fan of it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this guy just, needed a change of scenery. He needed a second chance, and he's going to come out and be great. But as far as the accolades and like what he looks like, there is, and this is where I wanted JB on for, a certain coach that this guy reminds me of. And it's not a coach that anybody on this podcast wants to friggin' hear. I'll tell you that for sure. And it's probably a coach that nobody on the chat wants to hear as well. So I broke down a little tape here. Let me see where I put it. It is a short one, so don't worry. And it is smaller, so some of the stuff you can't read, but the ending is where it's going to prove a point on where I'm going with this.
Man, this is some bullshit! Boo this man!
That's where I was going with this. It is an exact replica of everything from Billy fucking Donovan. And we see how he's doing in the Chicago right now. So, yeah, Jay. Yes. I'm glad you were able to watch that.
I had to jump back in. Wait. So Chicago, who's clamoring as a fan base to get rid of Billy Donovan in one sport, goes and hires a Billy Donovan clone for another sport?
I really hope I'm wrong. I really, really hope.
Frank, say it ain't so, brother. Say it ain't so.
But it's just, it is all the same shit. Billy Donovan, extremely successful in college. This guy, extremely successful in the AHL. Billy Donovan came to OKC and had some pretty good teams, didn't accomplish shit with him. This guy went to Detroit, didn't accomplish shit with him. They tried jumping a rebuild, failed miserably. And now you brought Billy Donovan to the Bulls, who has not accomplished a damn thing here. And now you just brought this guy to the Blackhawks. Like, the only thing that I will say about this guy is he has, but I guess it's kind of like Billy Donovan too, all the great players that he prepped in college to come to the NBA who are and were extremely successful. This guy did the same thing with hockey. But some people just aren't coaches. Like, I'm not
killing me with this.
Some people are professional coaches. Let's start there, Frank. Because little known fact, some people be like, yeah, but Billy Donovan brought OKC to the finals. That was Scott Brooks. That wasn't Billy Donovan. Scott Brooks took over that team with KD Harden and couldn't duplicate the same success. Then Harden left. Couldn't duplicate the same success. Then KD left. Then they brought in then Westbrook got his MVP. They brought in Chris Paul. Like, Billy Donovan is just a shit show on wheels. And anybody that resembles that for whatever sport you are in, I don't want that. Not to say that we don't wish this new guy success.
I hope I'm wrong, and I think he just needs a change of scenery, a second, chance, and everything like that. And it's going to pan out. I really hope it does. I will say this though, and I've spoken to a lot of Detroit Red Wings fans. I have a lot of friends who are Detroit Red Wings fans. All of them agreed with me on this. They did not like the hire. It was very stupid of the Blackhawks. But at the same time, this guy, when you look at what the Blackhawks did in a rebuild, they got obviously that number one pick in Connor Bedard. They traded.
Well, that's 2 years ago now, though.
Yeah, that's 2 years ago now. But, I mean, even before that, they had a number 3 pick. They had another 4 pick. They had multiple first-round draft picks. Like, they accumulated so many draft picks for a head coach to come in and rebuild the team.
Mm-hmm.
So they did do that. Detroit did not do that. Detroit bombed that because they waited. They had Pavel Datsyuk, easy first ballot Hall of Famer. Zetterberg, easy first ballot Hall of Famer. They had so many first ballot Hall of Famers. They did not trade away to try to help them win somewhere else, maybe win another championship, and you possibly get a first-round pick for them. They kept them all the way till they retired, and they pretty much had to start the rebuild like with nothing to work with. And I mean, with this guy, he took over Detroit. He took over an old veteran team for 2 years. Then he started the rebuild for 5 years, I believe, and just never really got any talent or anything like that to actually improve or get himself better. So
not necessarily his fault from coaching, but the GM.
And then at the same time, I'm not saying I'm backing Billy Donovan on this form, but we are going to say the GM and president did not give Billy Donovan enough tools to work with either. All right. In my opinion, I don't think so. As far as
they didn't give him enough.
As far as draft picks.
But they brought in free agents.
Failed draft picks. Because you think about draft picks, it's different from the NBA and the NHL. Because the NBA, you really have your first round and you have your second round. All right. NHL, you have 7 rounds. It's like football. So you have much more deeper type players. So I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping it's what this guy needs. I know he has a very good, as far as pedestal of as far as players who really liked playing for him.
Okay.
He was a hard-nosed type coach. He pushed people, but he knew how to do it in a respectful way. He actually had fun and everything doing it too. I don't see that in Billy Donovan. I just see Billy Donovan chomping away in his gum. But it's going to be interesting. Like,
let me ask you this. You know, I don't go outside my lane too much. My hockey knowledge is limited.
That's why I'm here for you.
Thank you. I saw Coach Q get hired again, and last time I watched hockey, Coach Q brought us 3 of them.
He most certainly did.
Why didn't they? And I don't know what he did to get in trouble or whatever.
I mean, you
why wouldn't they entertain bringing
what
that
he
back?
did. Yeah, you do. There was no way he was coming back to Chicago with the history of what happened. That was the sexual assault allegations and everything.
Oh, is that because I don't know what?
Yeah,
I just
that
knew
is the reason that got leaked, and
gone.
that's when Q was fired from the NHL when that happened. Like, he finally just got it proved to come back into the NHL.
Oh, so he was reinstated from the league.
Yes, the NHL reinstated him, and he was immediately signed by a team. Immediately. And everyone comes to me and asks me this, why not bring back Q? Why not bring back Q? The team that you built with all those draft picks that you signed is not a system players like Q system runs. He needs those Duncan Keith style players and everything.
The big guys.
Our team that we have now, they're big. They're solid on that defensive end. Q needs more speedster, people who can move the puck and everything like that. Systems are completely different. So Q could not have been successful in the system that we had.
Gotcha.
And that's pretty much, it kind of annoyed the shit out of me when Q was ousted out of Chicago. That was that piece of shit, Stan Bowman, our former general manager,
who used to also coach.
He was trading away all of Joe Quenneville's type guys, bringing in guys that don't fit Quenneville's system because they knew that they were going to fire him and they knew what coach that they were going to bring. So they ousted him. Yeah, they sabotaged him galore. And Stan Bowman I hate Stan Bowman. And then the worst thing is, you see if anybody who's following hockey right now and you watch what the Florida Panthers are still doing right now, guess who built that team, guys? It's Q. One who built the Blackhawks, Dale Talon.
Oh, Dale Talon. I know Dale Talon.
That franchise the exact same way he built the Blackhawks franchise. And Florida is now going into the Stanley Cup 3 straight years.
Look, I'm about to say, like,
they won it last year. They went 3 straight years. To see if they're going to win it again this year. They'll win back-to-back. So, I mean, obviously he's doing something right. Stan Bowman came in and just landed a gold mine and just had to put little bits and pieces on it to make the gold mine even work better. And he took all the credit for it. So, in my opinion, Quenneville would not have worked here. There are multiple other coaches that I did like that I do feel would have worked here. From what I hear, a lot of them were those tough type coaches and everything like that who want they want a little bit more like a Tom Thibodeau style. They want like a little bit more control. Blackhawks weren't, I guess, not able to give them a little bit more control because ever since Rocky Warts died, I feel like it's just shit. All right. But we could that was my good day. We will set up one right now. Somebody just hijacked it right now. We want to get a little Post-it note in here. We got our guy. Got T-Nick bringing the Hispanic, little Hispanic hat that he's rolling up there. You coming on, T-Nick, or are you just gonna?
Oh, he's here.
He's here in the background with his hat that looks so much like it's an Indianapolis Colts hat, even though I know it's not a Colts hat. It just looks like
definitely looks like a Colts hat.
Whenever the sun hits the top of the hat, it looks like it's a Colts hat.
Colts hat.
Hey, shout out to Jim Irsay, by the way, who passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm
gonna bring the maracas. Did you freeze again, T?
So I'm gonna do the best I can, but my Wi-Fi is acting up right now, so it's
Where
going in and
the
out.
world is
You all
T
are freezing
1995?
sometimes.
The KFC Wi-Fi.
So anyway, so for yeah, right. So for the post-it note, there was a post, and it asked, "Are the Bears' defensive front, is it really gonna be that much better with Dale and Grady Jarrett alone?
Andrea coming in hot.
I miss Drea. Hey, Drea.
Is it really gonna be that big?" So that is the post-it note. So what do you all think about that?
I mean, we did break down that defensive front to start off the show, but I don't see it getting. I mean, a healthy Billings is going to make a huge difference. A healthy Sweat is going to make a huge difference. So if they can stay healthy, I have them being better. There's no question about that. But I mean, when it all comes down to it, they got to stay healthy. But I mean, that secondary pass rusher, that he's got to emerge, whether it's going to be Booker, whether it's going to be Ayo. Like that's the big questions right there.
So are you saying they don't really need to do any more to address that line? So forget about Trey Hendrickson. Forget about.
I'm not getting Trey Hendrickson. No.
You're not. Forget about that.
Yeah. I mean, would I love it? Yes. But I mean, then you're paying both pass rushers, both defensive ends, $200+ million combined. Like, I don't see that.
Forget that shit. This is what you got to work with.
Agree.
Montez, Dale, and
which is
Grady
why we
Jarrett
wanted to draft a pass rusher, a better one.
And don't forget, we still have Zach Pickens, which I think you all mentioned earlier. We don't know if he's on his way out or if Ben Johnson is going to say, okay, let's dust you off and let's give you a chance. And Dominique Robbins.
We brought him up as well, but
he's still on the roster.
Let's not forget Booker, too. Booker was their draft pick last year.
Yes, Austin Booker.
Yeah, Booker's got to make a big jump, we're hoping, this year, where he can at least
my thing is this, T, to answer your question. I don't think you did enough because, like, to bring in a Grady Jarrett is a good thing. Veteran, Pro Bowler, never more than 8 sacks in the season. Couple of health issues, but overcame it. Real solid player, good run stopper. He ain't Aaron Donald. You know what I'm saying? We ain't coming. Grady Jarrett ain't about to get us 10, 12, 15, 22 sacks. That ain't what he do.
No.
So,
no.
Him and Billings solidifying to me is let's bring these guys in to help stop the run because our pass protection is so good that if we can just stop the run, we can manufacture sacks because our coverage is so good. That's how I'm seeing this playing out. Because Montez Sweat, as great as he was that year that he played half with Washington, half with us, I believe he equated to 13 full sacks. He only had 6.5 with us last year.
Fair.
Not like he set the world on fire.
Right.
That edge rusher. And we get Trey Hendricks, who is the number 1 pass rusher in the NFL. Doesn't make sense to me financially because you just gave Dale $16 million, like Frank stated. But
the double.
But to me, Dale is a project himself because what Dale's claim to fame was, he gets pressures and hurries. He doesn't get sacks.
But I mean, pressures and hurries are still. I mean, it's still a good thing. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
We'll take those.
yeah, they're very important.
Oh,
but you're paying him to get to the quarterback now. Yeah, you're paying him to get to the quarterback. You're not paying him to just.
We are, but the Bears were ranked 13th overall in defense with a favorable schedule. This year's schedule is a lot harder. We were 23rd, 4th in sacks, if I'm not mistaken, something like that around that area.
I thought it was in the 25, but I could be wrong.
Again, somewhere around that area. That's not good enough. Because eventually you're gonna have to stop somebody in front. You can't just rely on the secondary to cover for 5, 6, 7 seconds all the time. We're not gonna be able to do that. We're just not. And this season, unlike any other, you have competent coaching on both sides of the ball, competent coaching at the position, right? Position coaches. Coaching is going to matter so much more than this. But like you just alluded to, Joe Quenneville, as great as a coach he was coming to the Blackhawks this year, would not be able to do because you don't have his players. I hope that's not the same with Dennis Allen, because as great as we hope this offense is going to be, we going to need the defense to stop somebody. And I'm not sold on Dale.
I will say this, and as much as I agree, I'm not sold on Dale. Has to prove to me as well. I mean, you're paying him basing off of what he can be now, and I really hope it does work out. But my thing is, like, Allen's gonna, I feel, run a lot more different schemes where you're gonna see more blitzes and everything like that. You're gonna see Kyler Gordon coming in on blitzes. I do think we're gonna get a lot more sacks this year than we did last year, in my opinion. I really do. And that's basically because of the system that you are running. But Eberflus just ran safe bullshit all the time and only wanted 4 people rushing the ball pretty much at all times. I'll tell you what, I see Danny Trevathan having a great season this year under Allen. I can see him.
Danny Trevathan?
Wait the fuck, wrong guy. Jermaine Edmonds, sorry. Danny
Trevathan is so long
He's been gone a while ago, dude.
Bobby, put him in the bench.
Sonny, Eddie Moose is in there. He ain't gonna fit. I don't give a fuck. Put him in.
Hey, get your ass in there. Whoa. The hell you
I bombed that one for sure.
Right?
But no, Tremaine Edmonds, I think, is going to have a very good year as far as blitzing and everything like that as well. So.
All those black guys' names sound the same, man. All them black dudes, their names.
Tremaine Edmonds.
I didn't say that. You did.
You did say that to me. Tremaine. Okay, I'll be that guy again, as I often am. Tremaine Edmonds, for me, he didn't give us
time.
Thank you. At least I'm consistent. Tremaine Edmonds did not give me Buffalo Bills Tremaine Edmonds. He didn't. I mean, say what you want.
No.
He did not give me Buffalo Bills Tremaine Edmonds. He didn't. Like, he never gets sacks because he's never asked to sack. He's always asked to tackle and cover. That's all he's never asked to do. So you got this
he's athletic enough where he can sack.
No, Frank, because
I've seen him go side to sidelines and everything. He's got speed. He's got burst. Right. He can sack.
I didn't say he didn't have speed. The kid is 6'5", 250, and me and you combined got more sacks than the NFL in his whole career. Damn near. He doesn't get sacks because that's not what he's asked to do.
It's true, but
so Dennis Allen has this attacking defense. We're looking at who is the will linebacker. We know who the Sam.
That's true.
Who's the will linebacker? Is it a conversion of Hardy? Is it Hippolyte? That's the questions we need to be asking, because Tremaine Edmonds is, at this point, he's what he is. Edwards, to me, is the better linebacker of the two. Argue if you want.
I'm not arguing that.
But for me, what you need for Tremaine Edmonds, because what he does best is he covers, he gets picks. Why would you change that role for him?
Because Allen's gonna want to run different things to get pressure. That's why I see Edmonds doing that.
Look it up. Tremaine Edmonds had 4 interceptions last season.
Agreed. Two of them in one game.
Second on the team, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. Jalen Johnson didn't get interceptions.
So why would you change what he does better? Not to say that we don't need him to do more, but that's what he's good at. You have him start doing the Urlacher and coming down.
And I'm not saying that. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I only want him to do that type of stuff, but I think he is going to scheme a little bit differently where he is going to be, because nobody's going to be expecting him to come in on a blitz or something like that.
But can he do it because he
can do it?
But Frank, he never did it in Buffalo.
But they never had him do it in Buffalo. I would like to know. I know he doesn't have a lot of sacks, but I would like to know how many times he has blitzed, if there's any such thing out there like that.
But maybe the scheme was because he's much better in coverage.
And you're not wrong. He is very good in coverage, and he's got that size to be able to affect coverage.
Size, wingsman. Because look, I'm be honest with you, we are middle linebacker heavy here in Chicago, from Butkus, Singletary to Lack. Like, you come in at that middle linebacker position, you better get on. You better give me something. But you know what Brian Urlacher did consistently when you asked him to blitz? 5 sacks, 6 sacks.
He did everything.
5 sacks, 4 sacks. He produced. You know what else Brian Urlacher did? Brian Urlacher made a lot of solo tackles. Brian Urlacher had a lot of solo tackles, whereas it seems that Tremaine Edmonds has a lot of combined tackles. Just saying. Just putting it out there. The only thing is, obviously the careers are different, but
yeah.
Brian
Urlacher in the game.
Brian Urlacher could get you 2, 3, 4 interceptions in the season, get you 4 or 5 sacks in the season, and get you 100 tackles in the season. I don't see Edmonds doing that.
It's fair.
Because not to say that he can't physically do it, it's either something that his schemes are not asking him to do it, or there's something in the way he approaches the game that say, well, let's not ask him to do this. He's better at this. That's what I see.
That seems fair.
Now, I don't know where T went, but T.
He's trying to figure out something with his Wi-Fi, because I think he was getting hit with such a massive delay. He was laughing when we were in mid-conversation. Like, he's still got his beautiful hat on though in the background. So
let's get him back in when we can.
Do we want to break down a little basketball?
I mean, I don't know what the game. I don't have the game on tonight. I don't know if the Knicks or Pacers are winning. The Bulls, we're not going to. Because Mom asked about the Giannis trade to the Lakers, and please do not give LeBron James any more help.
He gets all this help, and he still freaking can't win. Not surprising.
But what I wanted to ask,
like the Pacers are. It's a closer game, 121-114 with a minute 45 left. Pacers up.
Yeah, that might be a wrap.
Which I know that. I mean, oh no, it's only 2-1 in the series. I thought it was 3-1 in the series.
Oh, well, it will be 3-1 after the night.
It will be after this 3-1. And Pacers, they're just too deep of a team.
They're too deep.
The problem, and we have always said this with Tom Thibodeau. I love Thibs, but you can't run 7 guys in the freaking playoffs.
You got to open up that roster.
You have to, and he refuses to do it. That's why he can never get past this thing. But I know
watch them call for Tibbs' job after this season. Yeah. Watch.
And I know the NBA isn't going to be happy about it, because I mean they would have loved to see the Knicks in an NBA Finals, because that is a big team. You're looking at possibly Pacers and the Thunder in the NBA Finals, which is good for us viewers and everything like that, but it's not good for the NBA. They need a big team.
You know what they'll say? They'll say is one, like, remember when the Spurs first won they championship? It was like that was the lowest rated until then they realized, oh well, Tim Duncan's pretty damn good. So,
and then that's when they weren't lower rated after that.
Now,
and that's how I feel.
And you be like, oh, he's pretty damn good. So,
yeah.
But I want to spend these last 20 minutes, if we can. Are you concerned, and I say this kind of tongue-in-cheek to you, Tank, with what had been going on in OTAs and workouts, are you concerned about the development of Caleb Williams right now?
Right now, no. Too soon with a new head coach and everything like that. You brought in the offensive guru type guy to help him in his progression and everything. So it's way too soon. Like, honestly, I'm really OTAs. I don't really care too much about. I want to see how he does in training camps. I want to see how he does in preseason. I want to see him fucking play in preseason. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm so tired of that shit and having these people not play, and then they look like shit week 1, and everybody wonders why.
Well, we've had the remedy to that like 7 years ago. So
yeah, it's yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not too worried about it though. It's still way too early. He's going into his second season. I mean, we gave Justin Fields 4 years. So, well, technically it was 4, right? I mean, because we traded him before his 5th year option.
One doesn't count.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong on that first year, that rookie year for sure. But I mean, you gave him some time. I'm not Caleb Williams has a much better coaching staff than Justin Fields ever had.
Oh, for sure.
There's no question about that. Caleb Williams has way more weapons than Justin Fields ever had, and a way better defense than Justin Fields has ever had.
Way better. Not even my argument.
Yeah, it's not even
pointed out. The reason why I say I'm a little concerned is because this is not a deep dive into the playbook. This is just continuity. How do you look after a layover? Let's try this. And you hear out of training camp, Caleb's inaccurate. Caleb's sailing the ball. This is just basically a scripted workout.
Yeah.
So that just, again, that gives me 3 questions that come to my mind because I'm a cynic and I'm cool with being. 1, what the hell were you doing in the offseason? Were you at least in the backyard throwing the ball through a tire? Something.
Well, I mean, from what I've heard from sources on the Chicago Bears, that he was training all off season. So he was not the person. Like, I didn't really see him go out there and doing any public crap or anything like that.
Well, I saw the one where he went to a Bulls game and he threw the ball. That was one time, which I'm cool.
I mean, almost every quarterback has done that with the
right. I don't even care about that because he
but
needs to do that. He needs
as
to
far as if you're sailing the ball in OTAs, again, I really don't care. I mean, especially a whole new system and everything like that. You are learning a lot of new things. You have DJ and Rome, but I mean, other than that, you got a lot of new type people too.
In fairness, I can agree with you, but only to a point because in OTAs, you're not taking a deep dive into the playbook. You're just running the route tree.
Agreed.
And if you're like, hey, run this 7 route versus a corner, I'm breaking it 12 to 15, taking it up, and I'm looking at it at 20, and you're throwing it at 30.
Yeah.
Hey, man, this ain't the playbook. This is just pitch and catch. Let's get our continuity together.
And then that's the thing. You're getting the continuity together, even if you're I'd rather you make mistakes in OTAs than you're making the mistakes during the game.
Absolutely. But where I'm going with this, Frank, is we heard the same stuff last year. Now, granted, he had a good season for a rookie.
Yeah. Didn't have what other people thought, but he had a better season than what I thought he was going to do. I'm not going to lie. He did
do better than I both agreed the 20 touchdowns to 6 picks was good. The 3,500 yards was good. The 62% completion was bad.
It was.
The 500
his biggest issue that I had with him this season was the deep ball.
And the deep ball accuracy was bad. We agree with that.
And I'm hoping that's going to change. There's a lot of things when it comes down to OTAs. Some people actually do switch up things. They try to switch up their throwing motion. They try to do something different to try to benefit them in OTAs. If it doesn't work, once training camp comes around, they go back. I did hear a lot of quarterbacks do that.
You know what? Some quarterbacks, but the generational can't miss guys, they don't change much.
You're not wrong.
With him, it brings me concern because not only is this the second year, even under a second regime with a second set of eyes.
Lorenzo, I was never all Caleb all the time. I was another person here who wanted them to keep Justin.
Frank I can attest. Frank wanted Justin.
During the season, I was never the person who was attacking Caleb because he was a rookie. He was going to learn. He did some good things.
I didn't expect much from him.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah. I mean, he did good things. He did bad things. What you usually see out of rookie quarterbacks. But we all had the issue with these certain, as we like to call them, tramp stampers, who expected him to come in and put up 5,000 yards in his first rookie season. Those are the people that we get real here. It doesn't happen often, and it's not
easy
to happen. Easy was just one of them.
Definitely one.
Well, you want to get into some shout outs. We're already running.
Well, it's only 2 of us, so it's not going to take that long, but that's why I just wanted to.
We have the longer shout outs, though. Let's not forget.
Because, Kirk, I wanted to ask you that. I'm glad you jumped back in. Did you have any reservations or concerns about Caleb right now? Only because it's not about the system, it's about you individually as a quarterback. Is this too much for you?
As far as him being inaccurate, the reports of kind of him being inaccurate off the jump and stuff.
If you put me in a Bears uniform right now with no pads and just a helmet and ask me, can I throw it to DJ Moore on an out route? Yes, I can.
Right. You
can't do it now, I'm concerned.
This is the thing where I'm going to go with this too, JB, is you can show 1 or 2 very, very bad throws, but how do we know he's not completing a lot of them too? Like, you don't know what you're getting out of the media.
Well, that's what I said. But in this town, the media protects Caleb Williams. I don't think they would say he's struggling unless it was like, oh, damn.
But at the same time, they need to get views. They need to get people talking. And now that you got him, Ben Johnson, the media will start turning on Caleb Williams.
But it's our own media. That's the problem.
It is, 100%. That's what the media does.
You can still get views with good news and hyping it up and being like, oh, man, they're on fire. Look at this throw and this throw. And
like last year?
They did that, and I'm not knocking on Justin, but they did that a lot with Justin, saying, "Oh man, he was throwing beautiful throws."
I know they did that with Trubisky.
I mean, you switch up the things. Like, I mean, I guarantee you, by the time of our next show on Tuesday, it's going to be talking about how great of throws. Like they switch up shit too much.
I agree with you, Lorenzo. Caleb is still the overhyped Caleb.
I've never been. I was never the type of person who was like, oh my God, future Hall of Famer, greatest quarterback of all time. People are already listing him as the Bears' greatest quarterback of all time. I'm just like, shut up. Just stop.
Anyway, so guys, with my shout outs, I'll start them off real quick. Shout out to you guys last week at the studio, kicking it off there at the new digs there, liking it. Shout out to you guys and the guest that was there as well, Herb Howard. That was awesome for him to show up. So congrats on that. Like I said, it looked awesome. Had a few technical difficulties there, but I'm happy we're able to kind of work through that stuff and whatnot. Shout out to my Cubs here who are just absolutely freaking killing it. At least, Frank, you know what? Don't make me put you back in the bathroom, all right?
Hey, Crook, what are y'all? Are you all leading the division, or is it still the Reds?
No. We just swept the Reds. So
okay.
Yeah, but it's that boogeyman that's always behind us that we're always worried about. The freaking St. Louis Deadbirds. They're only about 2 or 3 games behind us. So they're lurking.
So the Cubs are in first place?
Yes, first place. But like I said, St. Louis, they're
L for love. Good times.
Don't take our lurker video.
They're lurking.
Don't take our lurker video.
Well, they might be lurking, but again, to be a third of the season out the way and we're in first place, I'll appreciate it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But to your guys' point, the Achilles heel is going to be that damn bullpen if they don't figure it out.
What matters in the playoffs.
It
makes a huge thing in the playoffs. I'm not saying you have to have an elite bullpen, but you have to at least have a good, solid.
Don't you all have a damn near MVP candidate?
Yeah, and they're not re-signing them.
Yeah, we're trying to.
What's his name?
What's his name?
They're being cheap.
Justin Tucker, yeah.
They're being cheap asses.
Yes, is that the guy from the Dodgers?
The Houston Astros.
Okay.
But Javi Baez's replacement, ACP, is also killing it. He's fucking making his own case of being paid just as well as Tuck.
Yeah.
So,
ACP, why does that sound familiar?
Pete Crow Armstrong is turning it up this year.
PCA, yeah.
Yeah, PCA. That's what I meant.
He's like a third year guy, right?
Yes. So, but he was part of the Javi Baez trade that we got from the Mets.
Got you. Okay.
So shout out to them. Shout out to those guys. They're killing it. Hopefully they can keep it up. And then a quick shout out real quick to the guys that were able to put this T-shirt for me together. You can find that at Neon Peacock here. I got the website here. You can order that shirt there if you guys want to support the clubhouse there. They have that for the fantasy football show that we got going on. So
am I the only one who sees Crooked has that Aaron Rodgers porno mustache he's got?
Wait, I was about to say, can we put that back up? I like that, and I want to order one. Wait, how do I get my picture?
Hey, I mean, we can get it done at that website. They can do any kind of styles and design. So if you have an idea of something similar or interested,
I like that.
You can do that. Cool. You can find me as in a Bears version, a Crooked Commission Bears version, and also a Cubs version of me there as well. If you guys want to support the clubhouse, I recommend you go in there. It has our QR code on the shirt, so other people can scan that QR code. Takes you right to the link, so you can go ahead and subscribe.
I like that. Hey, we're gonna talk after the show. I want one like for my birthday.
Okay, we'll do that. So, I got to bounce out real quick there. So, Frank, I'm going to go ahead and kick it out to you, and I'll be in the background. Let my dogs out real quick. So,
okay.
Shut up, everyone.
All right. So, shout outs for me. I mean, I don't really have too much in the way of shout outs. I am going to give some dish shout outs, though.
Oh.
All right. Obviously, the Blackhawks got a dish shout out, but I've already approached that. But I do want to give one other. It's not really a dish shout out because I still respect the hell out of her and everything like that, and I still think she can be something special. Mm-hmm. But I question her work ethic now. What the fuck is Angel Reese doing? Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, you this whole off season put all this hype on yourself. And you are averaging 9 points a game, shooting under 30% from the field. This is not okay. And my biggest issue, I can't remember after which game it was, but when they asked her, did you work a lot in the offseason on your left hand?
She's left-handed.
She says, why? I'm right-handed. Why should I have to work on my left? And I'm like, to be a better fucking basketball player, work on
I thought she was left-handed.
Or maybe it was the other way around.
Yeah, she's left-handed.
It could be the other way around, I'm thinking of. But when they asked her that, she's like, I'm this-handed. So why would I want to work on the other one? I just don't see her wanting to improve herself in basketball. That is my scare with Angel Reese right now.
Hey,
all this hype that you are putting on her, she's putting on herself. I just don't see a work ethic. I see a work ethic. I see Dennis Rodman in the making.
I'm about to say she's Dennis Rodman.
And that's not a bad thing.
That's okay, but stay there.
You can be a Dennis Rodman. You just got to go find a fucking Michael Jordan now.
Stay there. Right. Stay there.
She's pretending she's Michael Jordan when she's Dennis Rodman. A much prettier version of Dennis Rodman. But I had to just say something because when I watched the one game that she recently had where she put up 2 freaking points, I was just like,
it had like
she was
14 boards or something, and like 4 of them were like off of 2 drops.
That was the game where she had 6 rebounds off of 1 freaking possession, where she missed air ball, missed block, going up again, block, going up again, air ball. It's just like, what are you doing? Like you just need to focus on basketball and actually help develop your game, because I wanted to see how much she improved her game from last season to this season. And I know we're only 4 games in or something like that. But in my opinion, she has gotten worse in every aspect of her game.
She's a double-double machine.
Andre Drummond. She's Andre Drummond.
She needs to stick, like, she's a rebounder and defender. Not even a great defender, but she's a rebounder.
Stealer because she doesn't block any shots because she has no vertical whatsoever.
Yeah, she's just a rebounder.
Yeah, she's a monster rebounder, and she's a smart defensive player, but she's not a smart offensive. So I had to get that off because I've watched every single one of their games, and every single one of their games I'm watching her. I'm just like, what the hell did you do this offseason?
And look, I thought Cordova would be the one that would do that.
I'm giving her the ball though, and I feel like Angel Reese is a reason behind that, because Angel Reese is getting all the minutes. That's why I was surprised when they drafted both of them. I'm just
you're supposed to playing them together. One's supposed to be the 5, one's supposed to be the 4. But.
Exactly. But Angel Reese is getting the ball all the time down low. They're having Cardosa play more on the outside, like jump shooter, and she's not a jump shooter.
Is she 6'7"? Like,
yeah, she should be the one inside. They should both be inside. She could like be setting picks for Angel Reese to even have more wide open. But I don't know. Had to get up, and it's a brand new coach too. I mean, they didn't have a good coach last year. They brought in a brand new coach that's supposed to work well with those two, and it's not working still. I mean, it could be. It's too early again. We're only 4 games in. But
and aren't they 1-3?
I don't think they've won a game yet.
Oh shit, they're on 4. No, it's time to talk about it.
Won a game yet. Let me take a look.
It's time to talk about it.
Let's take a look.
But I'm gonna go ahead and give my shout out. Shout out to you. Hey, you did a phenomenal job, brother.
They're 0-3. This is their 4th games playing right now.
Okay, so they're 0-3.
0-3, and they've gotten blown out all 3 games.
Yeah.
I think it was all 3 games were at least 18 plus points. Yeah. Thanks for the birthday wishes, guys. 38. I'm looking at 4-0.
Teresa Witherspoon was unceremoniously let go, but it is.
I will say this about Witherspoon though: she's more of a guard-driven coach, and you gave her a power forward and a center in her first in those draft picks. It didn't really make sense. But
hey, par for the course for Chicago.
Great.
It is what it is. But I want to get into some shout outs. First of all, shout out to you, Tank. You did an awesome job on the 1s and 2s and hosting the show, brother. You know, me and you, we always have a great time.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Kirk in the back. That Johnson chimed in, one of our P1s.
A few pictures there.
Chimed in, JJ. Ron Winarski chimed in early and often. Thank you, Ron, for chiming in. We appreciate it. Jay Grizz came in. Brian Price. Appreciate you all. Janet Dominguez. Thank you for chiming in. Osmonic 74, I believe, maybe a new one, stated at 833. Look, we overlook anyone with our previous record and shaky positions at left tackle, DN, running back, and safety. So he went in depth. Lorenzo Clemens, thank you for chiming in. Hey, TTNL Runaway came in. TT Nut Sacks have Packers winning the division. That's hilarious. Hey, we got to get TTNL Runaway on, man.
I asked him. He's camera shy.
Okay, he can come on with the, my name is just whatever, the block, whatever. We got to get him on because his insight and his takes are awesome. And his acronyms are on point. TC915, thank you for chiming in. Bears Down came in, thank you for chiming in. Bears Down, we appreciate it. And Antonio Cachola, thank you for chiming in, we appreciate it. Demond Dice, thank you for chiming in, we appreciate you. Demond, I think that's a new one.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard that name.
Chicago Sport Podcast, 5 for Chicago. Love that. Thank you for chiming in. Logan, thank you for chiming in. We appreciate you. Ricks, thank you for chiming in. Let's see. And Andrea Schmitz. We haven't seen Andrea, but thank you for chiming in. Welcome back, sweetheart. We appreciate you. Kurt said, oh, yeah, that's the link for the shirts, right? And that's about it. Slow news night. We appreciate you chiming in. Sometimes, hey, even the Scott Van Pelt show goes low. There ain't nothing going on.
And we do apologize, guys. Our guest was not able to make it. Hopefully, we'll be able to get him rescheduled as well. So,
yes,
sorry about that.
It does happen.
It does.
But we're going to keep bringing you the best that we got. Frank, take us out because if it's only one person watching the show,
the mom,
the podcast mom, Miss Sandra Bynum Holmes. Shout out to you, lady.
Chicago Clubhouse mom. We got to get her a shirt. Chicago.
Oh, she got one. She just got a mom
logo on the back. It's got to get a mom name on the back. Podcast.
I bought him a sweatshirt.
I got to get a sweatshirt. That sounds good. I want to actually get a hat made too. I might make a hat.
We probably do got to get a hat.
All right, but hey, Other than that, hey, to all the people who are watching in the background, not commenting, which we know you're out there, and I know Crooked did already hijack our video for this, but we know you're officially lurkers. But for me and JB, we call that something else. Is he going to show it?
I think you have to do it because the dogs.
L for love. Good times.
L for love. But other than that, hey, to everybody, foul, new married man, understand couldn't make it today, perfectly fine. Got to give you your props, my man. Terrence, who chimed in with his, Monaco hat that he rolls out there with the Indianapolis Colts logo on it, that he still won't deny it. Shout out to you as well. JB, always a blast. That's the first time I have seen a picture of your mother. You know that?
With the podcast shirt on.
It's the first time I've ever seen a picture of your mother. She's got to come to one of our events for sure. Maybe if we try to get that alumni night set, I still don't think they scheduled that yet.
They're wasting time. It's already June next week.
Exactly. I'm gonna have to look that up. Maybe they did and it just haven't got released yet. I'm not sure. But other than that, hey, everyone else, all love. Other than that, we out.
You got to decide whether you're a wolf or a sheep.
I still say fuck Canada, by the way, too.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
We out.
You're still here. It's over.